live streamed chunk. Howdy, folks on YouTube. Guessing it's Ryan M, but I'm not positive. Okay. Goodbye to the YouTube. Okay, hello, everybody interested in team. This is a colossal group. I'm very excited for this already. So I want to go through a pretty decent sized agenda. I'm going to be talking about stuff that pertains to anyone interested in team. And then near the end, I'm going to be talking specifically to folks who are interested in elite team and big stuff we've got coming up in summer of next year. 1 second, why is this happening? Sorry guys, it's been like a year and a half. I'm still really bad at Zoom. All right, so we'll make this gallery. Okay, so who is everyone? Want to introduce everyone who's in the room. Obviously, everyone I hope knows me by now. The gentleman marked Eric Agbovi. This is Agbovi Sensei that you may have heard us talk about. He is going to be serving as head coach for the team. He is an expert in Shotokan style karate, which is the style we're going to be pursuing for our competition team for the fall and spring. For a lot of folks, that's going to mean introduction to some really new concepts that are very different from what we do. And for a lot of folks, they've done this before and they will be perfectly fine. I hope everyone by now knows Mr. Fallon, who's in the mask and uniform. He is going to be our team captain. He is planning on competing in the big event we've got coming up next summer. In addition, he's going to be serving as assistant coach when needed. And then obviously everyone knows Ms. Dodge. Ms. Dodge is going to be our team coordinator. She is going to be in charge of communicating with the team members and especially with team member families. She's also be communicating with administrators and suppliers and stuff like that, and basically taking a lot of my headache away because she's off. And those are the really important people on our coaching team. So that everyone knows who they are. For people who are new to this, what is team? So sport, martial arts, competitive martial arts. This is a really important piece of martial arts and has been for hundreds of years. And for our school in particular, it's something we're really, really proud of, having a long dynasty of really incredible performers, including people like Ms. Dodge and Mr. Fallon, Master Peck, Master Peck's daughter, Cassie, loads of individuals, Mr. Klatz, Mr. Rogers. We've got a bunch of people on this Zoom call right now who have competed at national and international level competition, and they're cool like that. Why are we doing this team and why has this sprung up so suddenly? So a few things are going on. Number one, we want to reintroduce sparring to the school. We've obviously missed sparring terribly and really want to be doing it again. We need to be introducing it to our more new people very slowly from the bottom up, working on very simple concepts and driving upwards for those folks. But in addition, we've got lots of folks, people on this call, who've done a lot of sparring in the past, really want to jump in face first. And so we're going to let you jump into face first because you guys are cool like that. So that is why we are, one of the reasons why we are doing team. We've got a lot of folks, some of which are on this call, who have never done competition team before and need to be introduced to it. And so our junior team is going to be very much dedicated to new folks who have not done competition team before, have not dove into proper competition before in martial arts, and really preparing them for higher level competition, statewide, nationwide competition. The junior team, when we start talking about that, they are not going to be focused on any particular tournaments this fall. We might be giving them opportunities to do some tournaments, but they're not going to be focused on any particular tournaments. The elites will get there right now. In June of 2022, down in Florida, the World United Karate Do Federation is hosting a world level tournament. Okay, this is a really big deal. They are one of the largest martial arts sport organizations in the world, and we get to have a world tournament in the United States. Mr. Fallon, Ms. Dodge, and a bunch of other folks will tell you That's a rarity. To get world level competition, you usually have to travel out of country, which is really tough and expensive. And so this is an opportunity for lots of folks to experience world level competition here in the United States and in Florida, hop, skip, and a jump away from some, Disney garbage and university garbage, whatever. So those of you who are interested in a summer vacation attached to your big tournament experience, hey, there you go. The elite team is going to be focused on the goal of preparing for world level competition. And people that are on the elite team, that's going to be the goal. People who are on junior team, it's not. Okay, junior team is going to be much, much lower pressure on that front. So just be aware, very diverging teams down the road. We are, as part of this process, planning on a spring team that is going to be starting in, I believe we said March. And again, we're going to have a junior team and an elite team. The junior team is going to be prepping for some national level tournaments. The elite team is going to be getting ready for Worlds. So please know, if you want to do Worlds in Florida and you want us at your back, you have to do the elite team in the fall. You have to do the elite team in the spring. Big commitments we're asking you for very, very quickly. Now, what is required for the team? So because we're doing karate style martial arts, we got to have a karate style dogi. And so those wraparound white uniforms that you've seen some folks wear in movies and TV shows and stuff like that, that is going to be a required uniform for all team members. It's going to be included in the team costs. You're also going to need to have sparring gear. A lot of you either never got sparring gear in the first place or have outgrown your sparring gear in the year and a half it's been. And so we will need to get you re-equipped with sparring equipment. Okay, everyone's going to need the standard stuff. And then folks who are participating on the elite team, there's going to be some special equipment needed for you guys because the world level martial arts, they practice with much smaller pieces of gear than we do. So be prepared for that. For the fall team, we are going to be doing practice on Tuesdays and Saturdays. Tuesday evenings over at Fitchburg, Saturday mornings over at Fitchburg. It's going to be, to start with, about 2, maybe 2.5 hours a week. We might expand that in the fall. We're not planning on that right now. There might be opportunities to expand that. In the spring, the elite team will be meeting more than that. So be prepared for that commitment. We do understand that because this is being sprung on you very, very rapidly, that some of you might have prior commitments on Tuesday nights or Saturdays where you can't make team practice. And for the fall teams, we don't like it, we are permitting it. Anyone who is interested in joining us for the spring team, you'd better make sure that your Tuesday nights and Saturdays are clear in the spring if you're going to participate in those teams. Okay, you're being given advance notice now. COVID is obviously very much on our minds all the time. Vaccination is going to be required to participate in sparring practice. Okay, that is for both elites and juniors. If, for whatever reason, our younger students are not able to get vaccinated by the time team is up and running, it simply means we're not going to be doing full out sparring for a little while. We are expecting to jump on that on elites as fast as we possibly can. So elites, be ready for that. Required for elites, in the spring, you are going to need a special competitive dogi that will be a good heavyweight with crack uniform. A couple of you already have versions of that. There's going to, again, be that special sparring equipment required. You are going to be expected to have a certain level of physical toughness. At Worlds, they do not wear helmets or hogu. Okay? Your hogu are the muscles you have on your chest and stomach, and they still hit hard. So if you're not ready to build up some muscle around your core, don't do the elite team. Again, COVID vaccinations will be required as early as possible. And our elites, you might be required to memorize a series of 5 forms and have them all set in your brain. So that might be possible homework when that time comes. I do want to make clear that because we've got COVID going on and because it's an ongoing issue, there are a bunch of unknowns as far as timeline and that kind of thing. And because of this, we might be changing plans very rapidly. Some good things might be happening faster than expected. Some not so great things might be happening unexpectedly. Just be prepared for that. However, with how everything is going on in the country, the states, and Dane County, I feel very confident the team is something we will be able to execute in full from start to finish for this fall team, going from November through to I should really know this, but there it is, end of January. Yeah, so who can do team? We reserve Black Belt Club members, full students, to do team. We very much feel that you've got to be very committed to the school and to martial arts, and Black Belt Club is a way to demonstrate that commitment. And you got to be at a high level of coachability and being a strong student. Whether or not you are on junior or elites will be ultimately decided by the coaches. Most of our newer team members will be placed on juniors. Anyone that requests to be put on juniors will be put on juniors. Anyone that wants to be on elites will need to request to be on elites. We reserve the right to not put you on elites if we don't think it's appropriate. And obviously we reserve the right to change an individual's team assignment back and forth as we need to. The instructors. So we've got this amazing coaching team. That's not the right thing. I do want to go over specifically what they're going to be responsible for. Egbovi Sensei, head coach, is going to be responsible for all of our technical details with training plans for kata, form, and kumite sparring. Mr. Fallon, as team captain, he's going to be responsible for the enthusiasm, the well-being, the morale of the team members. He's not going to care about the parents, he's going to care about the team members. Ms. Dodge, on the other hand, she's going to be responsible for making sure the parents are not wholly miserable and are being communicated with well, along with communicating with WUKF, our vendors and stuff like that. So that's why we've got such a large group of folks helping out with the team. From time to time, myself, Mr. Klatt, and maybe one or two others will be coming in as assistant coaches to help out or run things when needed. So just be prepared to see some other faces. But every single team practice we have will have a minimum of one of the coaching trio, hopefully always at least two. And with that said, and I did not prepare them for this at all, if any of our coaches want to say anything, I've set this time aside for you. And if you'd rather wait until later, you certainly can. Egbovi Sensei, nod or shake. Do you want to say anything to the group? You need to unmute yourself, sir.
Yes, I did. Oh, hi everyone. So for who does, I used to attend the school a long time ago. I might be new to some of you, a familiar face to some of you. So I'm not a stranger to the school. I know the practices and the custom of the schools. So we're gonna get along very well. What do I expect from somebody in the team who want to do teams? Commitment, discipline, and effort. And if there is anything you're not happy with, you don't want to talk to me, you can talk to Ms. Dodge, Master Masaki, Finland. Please, the communication line is open anytime. Okay? Prior to team, if you have any disability, any health issue preventing you to do such and such and such, please let us know ahead. So I'll accommodate to you specifically during training. Parent, I'll ask you a big favor. For us to be successful, I'll need your help as far as motivating the kids, getting them ready, making sure they have their uniform clean, iron. So that's a big thing for me. Your uniform has to be clean, iron, not smelly. It's really important to me because it shows discipline. And at last, it's not gonna be easy. I'll be honest with you, it's not going to be easy. But we will have fun through hard work. Yes. If you ever done team compete at an international level, you'll see the advantage of doing so. It awakens something inside of you, not just for karate, something you'll carry with you for the rest of your life. So have those things in mind, and thank you, everyone. If you have any question, feel free to reach out to me or anyone in the team. Thank you. Back to you, Mr. Masaki.
Mr. Fallon, would you like to say anything?
All right. Hello, everyone. I know we've got a couple people who have done team before and a couple who haven't. I agree with everything, Bowie Sensei said. It's going to be hard. It's going to be a lot of hard work, but those of you who have done team training, who have done, the black belt prep course, know that that group that you train really hard with, it, forms a bond, and it's something you'll remember forever. And if you are interested at all in team, this is a great place to start, to get to learn a different style, to get to work with everyone, to get to see some people you may not have seen before. I think this team is going to be really special. And if you're at all interested, feel free to reach out to myself, Ms. Dodge at Bowie Sensei, and, ask any and all questions, because this is going to be a really special thing. And if tournaments aren't your thing, that's okay, especially for this fall team. We can build up that confidence. And if you like it in the spring, hopefully as things get better, then we can talk about tournaments and ease you into it. I think the junior team is going to be really good about that, easing people into this process. And those on the elite team who are hungry for tournaments, like myself and Mr. Klatt and some of the others I've talked to we're going to find tournaments, and we're going to get that tournament experience going and make sure we're up to snuff. And one last thing, I know Agbovi Sensei was instrumental to our 2012 team that went to Serbia. He was a great help. He helped me even from overseas while we were in Serbia. He was messaging me support and giving me tips on form and sparring. So, it's great to have him back and to see him in this head coach role. Back to you, sir.
And Ms. Dodge.
Morning, guys. I don't have that much to say because it's all been said about team already. Love team. Can't wait for this to start. And yeah, I'm just really, really jazzed about it. Even though I'm taking more of a coordinator role, I'm still very much present on team. So looking forward to exciting 2 seasons here. And yeah, just can't stress enough how important this communication is. And I just so jazzed it's back. So that's all I have.
So one last thing I do want to say. One last thing to everybody that I want to say. Competition team, I've given our coaches a series of priorities. Okay, a big priority, something that's really important, especially right now with everything that's going on. Physical, mental, emotional health. We are not sacrificing any of those 3 for the sake of priority number 2. Priority number 2 is win. Okay, that is what this competition team is about. We want you to win with honor, but we want you to win. That is what we're preparing you for. That's what we're working towards. Period. And if I love Mr. Fallon's statement of if you're not sure about tournaments, this is a great team for you to do. Normally, if you're not into tournaments, if you're not into competition, I would say don't do competition. This is for people that are competitive, for people that have the attitude of I want to win. And I'm willing to put in the extra time, the extra effort, the extra energy it takes to win. And if that means that I'm going to be working out every day, if that means I got to go on a diet, if that means I am doing Ms. Dodge's 10-minute abs 6 days a week, that's what I'm going to do because I want to win my division. And I want to make sure that that's clear. We're not going to be putting up with poor attitude, poor work ethic for either of these teams. They will not, it has no place on these teams. And you will be warned once, and then you'll be dismissed. Okay, we're not putting up with it. That said, I agree completely with Agbovi Sensei, and there's a lot of people on this call right now that are very much this mentality. If you think incredible hard work can be super fun, team is perfect for you. Because my goodness, does the team have a great time sweating until they're almost dead? It's really spectacular and fun. So be prepared for that. At this point, I am going to put a link in the chat of our fall team flyer. It's up on our website. There will be a better version of this link coming out on the next puncher for those of you who need it, and there will be hard copies hanging out at the Bojangles. I'm going to sit here for 2 minutes and wait for questions in the chat. I'm going to answer the one that's here, and then I'm going to ask anyone that's not interested in elites to go away, and I'm going to talk with just the folks who are interested in the elite team. So question is about how many people will be on the elite team. It's going to be as many as we need. If we end up having in excess of 12-ish circles, we're going to expand the team schedule and have extra team practices as needed. We have no idea how many people are actually going to participate on these two teams. Thank you very much, Ms. Dodge. But 12 circles for each team is the current plan, and we'll expand as we need to. And again, if COVID is better, we're going to shove everybody that we can in the same room if things are actually safe. And please believe me, and everyone that knows me will tell you the same. I care very deeply about our safety when it comes to COVID. I'm not going to be taking unnecessary risks. Minimum rank of each student, Black Belt Club. That's it. We've had Black Belt Club members. There's a dude on this call right now who participated on team at like Orange Belt or Green Belt. And did quite well in the junior team and is now a scary black belt who I think is really eager to do the elite team. Minimum rank that each student has to be to get on the elite team, whatever the coaches want. That's it. We might have a blue belt, a brown belt that is ready for the elite team. And we will, we'll evaluate them for whether or not we think they're ready for the elite team. And if we think they are, we bump them on there. It's black belt level competition. At Worlds, everyone's considered a black belt. So there will be no green belts going to Worlds. But it's just, vote for Worlds, your division is determined by age and size, that's it. Specific times, thank you, Ms. Dodge, for sending that. Costs are on the flyer. Thank you. Additional opportunities for practice. Excellent question. That is something the coaching team is going to be discussing. To start with, we are only requiring the 2 times a week. I know Mr. Fallon, being crazy, he really wants to get a third practice going as soon as possible. And that's something the coaching team is going to discuss. I do know I want the first couple weeks of practices to be solely run by Agovi Sensei. So all of our fundamentals are the same before we start adding on extra practices that might be run by other people. Experience level for divisions. To my understanding, according to the WKF information, it's just everyone's a black belt. I hope they do have experience levels, but from everything that I've read at Worlds, it's not. So you need to be prepared for that. And if I'm wrong, I would love to be wrong. I do not. So this was finalized. The divisions, I don't believe have been properly established. All the information for rules and divisions are back from 2018. That's all the information I could find. Or it's in like Scandinavian or Dutch, and I can't read that. So I don't know exactly what the divisions are going to be. Information is being put together and slapped up online as fast as they can. They finalized this announcement 8 days ago. I think it was 8 days ago. It was really, really recent. That's why we're throwing this together so rapid. Any other questions? Hanging out, looking at the chat. Oh, that was direct to me. Apologies. Someone asked, did they ditch the experience level for divisions? Answered that. Do we know the adults divisions for Florida? Answered that to the best of my ability. And another thing, especially speaking for the folks that went to Ireland at the last Worlds that we participated in, they ended up having a lot more competitors than they were expecting. And so they had all of these rules and expectations set. And then they threw half of those expectations out the window because they had so many more people than they were expecting. I am really anticipating that to happen in Florida, perfectly frank, because I think this tournament is going to be massive There are so many people desperate to get back into high-level tournaments. And conveniently, the AAU, which is another large martial arts organization, they are having a tournament immediately after the WUKF tournament. So WUKF is going on for 6 days, and then there's an AAU tournament going on for 6 days right after that. Separated by gender, I believe so. I don't think WUKF is super progressive yet. They might be working on it. I honestly don't know. Cover the flight cost. I'm going to talk about that after I dismiss anyone not to go away. Wow, we had a lot of people show up. Awesome. Oh dear, I'm breaking up. I'm terribly sorry. Oh no, not internet. No. Yay, internet. Am I any better? All right, stand by. I'm going to break something, I'm sure. Oh, seems okay now. Great. Okay. I am at this point going to ask anyone that is not interested in elite information to go away. And I'm now going to talk to only people who are interested in elite. Transportation. So someone asked an excellent question about transportation and bookings and all that stuff. So in the past, we have had various travel agencies and stuff like that help us out with this sort of thing. Ms. Dodge is going to be responsible with the assistance of Mrs. Masaki for figuring out travel plans and that kind of thing. To be honest, if we get enough individuals on the elite team that want to go to Worlds, what I want to do is charter a bus. I want to throw a whole bunch of people on a bus and drive from Wisconsin down to Florida and back again, because it just makes a whole lot of sense to do that. Saves everybody a tremendous amount of money. Tournament is going to be in Fort Lauderdale. WUKF is already blocking off rooms. Once we have some idea of how many people are going to go, we will get invested in either joining WUKF and their regiment. USAKF is our national organization that we are associated with. They are making plans as rapidly as they can as well. Ms. Dodge is communicating with their head guy, Master Hickey, about what they're up to. But for booking of hotels, it's something that we would very much like to get everyone in the same hotel if we can. It just plain helps coordinating the team. We want everyone traveling together if at all possible, because it just plain helps with coordinating the team. And if people are unable to do that, so be it. But if people are able to do that, it just makes everything better. Let's see if there are any other questions. And if not, I'm going to go into my rants. Okay, again, if you're going to go to Worlds, you have to participate in the Fall Elite team. You have to participate in the Spring Elite team, period. And if you're interested in Worlds, you need to reach out to our coaches as fast as you can to let them know that you're interested, so that we have some idea of the numbers we're working with. The Spring Elite team, Worlds is the goal. That does not mean that if you're on the Spring Elite team, you have to go to Worlds. So being perfectly frank, Ms. Dodge is unable to join us down in Florida because of reasons. She is still participating very strongly in the team. She is going to be doing assistant coaching. I imagine she's going to be doing some practices because she really, really wants to hit a lot of you. So be prepared that folks are going to be on the elite team who are not going to Florida, whose goal is to help the people who are. So if you're interested in elite level training, not going to Florida, there's that. Competitors, again, you might be assigned some forms to memorize. Just be prepared for that. Myself, Egovi Sensei, Ms. Dodge, for figuring out the details on who has to memorize what. Again, if you're on the Spring Elite team, if you're on the Fall Elite team, we're going to be stripping gear away from you rather than adding pads to you. The only piece of equipment that I'm going to be requiring up until the very last minute is headgear. They don't spar with Hogus. We're going to be taking those off as quickly as possible. They don't spar with foot gear. We're going to be taking those off as soon as possible. The hands that they have are just knuckle guards. That's it. It's knuckle guards, groin cup for dudes, shin pads, mouth guard. That's it. Yes, Ms. Dodge.
sorry, excuse me. Mr. Fallon, I don't know if you remember your experience from Serbia, but in Ireland, girls and women we had to wear a hogu. It had to be the under the gi one. It's very thin. Craig has one, but it's super lightweight, and that's just for reasons. So I don't know. I'm sure they're gonna have girls and women wear them still. I remember having to buy one at the stadium because I didn't know. So that's my input there.
From what I remember, Miss Nolden and Miss McNamara both wore them in Serbia.
Very good. What was the other thing I was going to say? Shoot. And I had one other note. Maybe I didn't. I can't stress enough, elite team, you better be committed if you're going to do elite team. And when we get to spring, we're going to cut out anyone that we think is going to be remotely detrimental to that elite team. We're zero patience for any. So you need to psych yourselves up now if you're going to do, and you need to start making those commitments as soon as you possibly can, so that we know what we're in for, so you guys know what you're in for. And I had one other good thing, but I apparently can't remember it. So it wasn't that important. All right. Any of the coaches have anything more to say? And does anyone in the chat have anything more to ask? Yes, there will be coaches on the floor. Great question. We are not doing tryouts for this because we don't have time. Tryouts for the spring team are the fall teams. That's all there is to it. Future teams, there will be trials again. I loved doing team trials. It was awesome. We're not doing it right now. Ms. Dodge.
Do you have to do fall team if you're interested in spring team?
I'm sorry, one more time.
Do you have to do fall team if you're interested in spring team?
The elite team, yes. Junior team, no. If you don't care about being on the elite team, you don't have to do fall team. No, you do not have to have done team before. The question is, do you have to have done team before? No, you do not have to have done team before. If you're interested in the elite team, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. And we probably won't let you on the elite team if you haven't done a team before. Junior team, this is actually one of the best junior teams we've ever had for trying out team. Oh, and I do remember the other thing. So this is one of the best junior teams to try out team. I do remember the other thing. So we are going to have to, the elites are going to have to participate in a national level tournament. There is one coming up in 2 weekends time. We're not going to that one. We are going to find another USAKF or national level tournament. It might be the fall team. It might be the spring team. I don't know which one. We are scouring as fast as we can to find an appropriate tournament to do. But be aware, the fall team will be required, if they want to do the elites and want to do worlds, to participate in a national tournament between now and summer. And it might be sprung on you with very little notice. I'm sorry to that. What date does team start? We want to start on November the 2nd. Week and a half. Why is a thing? Oh, yes. Conditioning will be a very large part of team training. It has to be. Has to. And since we're not allowed to do full sparring yet, because I won't let the coaches do that yet, that's what we get to do a lot of. Oh, I hope everyone has running shoes. Everyone. There will be other pieces of conditioning equipment that are going to be required for some folks. We're going to be getting some of those training bands, jump ropes for the spring team, a bunch of other fun stuff. Location training. For the time being, it's all at Fitchburg. In the spring, we're going to do some rearranging of schedules, and we're going to have Saturday practices over at the east side because the facility is just playing bigger and better. Sorry, Miss Dodge. Too bad. But during the week, it's going to depend on how many team members we have from what school. If we've got one location that's dominating team, probably going to have our team at that location. So, Kyosas, get competitive about all your team. All right. Flexibility part of training, it has to be, because you have to kick above the belt. Have to. And stances got to be pretty big. Shotokan style stances are big stances. They are bigger than what we're currently doing. Okay. Final questions from the chat and final statements from the coaches. And with a moment of silence, we are done. Thank you so much. The incredible crowd we had that showed up for this live. Thank you so much to anyone who is watching this on the YouTube. I am going